Machine. Na-miss nating lahat itong Ling ni Mr. Hajizi. But can next play go all the way to the late game? And remember, this is one best pick para kay H2O. By the way, Midnight, before we start, nais ko lang sabihin that MPL Philippines Season 7 is under the supervision and the regulation of the Games and Amusement Board. So going back, look at this. Heat vintage movements para sa kanyang panggagamol dito sa Purple Buff.
Yes, actually, ang ganda, no? This is the understanding of Omega Esports. They know that the Angela has leveled up the first skill instead of the second skill. So wala masyadong panghabol kay Pakito. But Rene J joining the fight here makes a little space for the Claude to farm.
Yeah, actually, still maganda pa rin yung kuha doon ni H2O ng kanyang purple. And talagang I think dito papasok yung veteran movements ng Omega. They know na kapag ang Claude ang nag-jungle, importante sa kanya lahat ng buffs.
Yes,
kailangan mo siyang i-delay ng i-delay. And yun din yung target dito ng Nxp. Nagkamali ako, actually, Midnight. Akala ko Claude marksman to. Akala ko Claude side lane to.
Jungle siya.
But we have a Benedetta side lane na mapupunta sa kay Rene J. Midnight, I think favorite mo to. Kumusta yung mga matchups natin? Kumusta yung mga matchups?
I think for next play, you're very happy with the matchups. Medyo surprised din ako no, actually si Rene J naglalaro ng Benedetta and Yawi is actually playing the Baksha instead of the other way around. Pwede kasing si James yung Baksha, Rene J playing the Alice, then Yawi on the Benedetta. But the thing is, they are looking for specific matchups here. They want the Benedetta on the core role against the 1-1.
Definitely. Sabi dito ng OMG, kailangan natin kumalaw. And there you go, first blood for the KDA Machine. At dito na ba natin nakikita na back to form na ang Omega dahil nakakamiss yung mga ganong movements nila, yung mga biglaan na lang may first blood.
I think it's too early to say, pero Omega Esports, they still have their mechanics down to their bones. Kasi nakita natin na zinone out lang ng Omega Esports and actually dealing a poke damage into the heroes of NXP. And the job of the Ling is to clean up. Yan lang ang trabaho ni Ling ng early game. You don't fully commit without your ultimate. So ang gagawin ng kampi mo is poke, poke, poke. You have the Kagura, you have the Pakito. These two heroes can poke all day.
Midnight, speaking of poke, how important is this? Yes, Rene J getting the revenge kill on the top lane. That's nice. Kasi gold laner yon yung nawala. So pwedeng may mawalang wagon dito para kay Kurt. Pero gusto ko tanongin sa'yo, gaano ngayon ka-importante si Heat sa laban na to? I think siya yung nagsaserve talaga dito bilang scout. Yes. Sa OMG, this is vintage OMG.
Yes, this is the playstyle of Heat. He really doesn't clear waves. Ang ginagawa ni Heat sa isang game is nagpo-provide ng vision talaga.
Vision talaga para makagalaw. Sinaha JC dito at mukhang itutuloy-tuloy nila as they are now targeting the orange buff. Pasok na yun dito si Toshi. Ultimate para ka-Jim dito pero wala pa siyang first kill habang si H2O ay nasa liba na ni Exort at GC now flying out. Dahil masyadong nag-overextend this time ang OMG. Great movements, pero hindi sila nakanako ng orange. That is a 2-for-1 trade. Attack for two heroes na wala si Hayes, na wala din si Heat.
Yeah, it's still a favorable position for Omega Esports. There are two stories here in the game. Number one is the resource control of NXP. Pinaka-importanting aspect sa kanila dito sa game na to is yung resource nila. They want the farm on the Claude. On the Omega side, you as much as possible, you'd want to take objectives. You have a Ling, you have an Esmeralda, and you have a Kagura. These three heroes wants to control objectives. But the thing is, Omega Esports, they have a +1. Kapag nagre-resource control ang NXP, the 1-1 is also free farming. So the late game factor for Omega Esports is actually bigger compared to NXP.
So meron pala silang ganun na, o sige mag-farm ka dyan, pero yung 1-1 namin, free farm naman. So may part na 50-50 trade ang ginagawa dito ng Omega. Yes, hindi nila nakuha yung orange, pero tignan mo naman, ang daming turret gold na nakuha dito ni Cardizi. Meanwhile, pasok dito si Hajizi. Welcome back. Pero masustansya dito. And I think this is going to be the punish. Wow. Nice maneuvers para dito kay Hajizi.
Yes.
Onting acrobatics, onting gulat, pero may onting pasok agad ang NXP. Alam nila, ilang beses na nila napanood yun.
Dito mo masasabi na Omega Esports, sila pa rin ang isa sa pinaka-mechanically gifted na team. They know that the only job of these heroes is to poke. Nakita natin kanina si H2O, talagang binalagbag lang ni Hayes at ni Heat. Once nakita nila nakalahati nilang buhay, even if the Angela jumps on the Claude, ang trabaho ni H2O is to clean up. And the story of the game is kapag may nangyayaring teamfight, I call this 60-40, kahit mapatay nila si Ling, NXP is just getting 40% because 1-1 is still farming.
Yes, ito pa rin ang pinaka-main dilemma ng NXP, si Kurt, DZ. Fun fact lang pare, fancy Kurt Dizzy ng 1D. Parehas kami. Yeah, shoutout pala kay Kurt. And yun nga, nagpa-farm lang siya dito. Kailangan ng gumalaw ng NXP.
Yes.
Kaibigang Midnight. Yeah, nawala dito si GZ. Pero again, tama ka no? It's all about the side lanes right now.
Yep.
Probably yung jungle, 40% na problema mo yun eh.
Oo. Again, every move that NXP makes, it has to make sense. It has to be focused on resource control or controlling the map. But Omega Esports, they are the ones dictating the early game pressure, the early game momentum dahil nasa kanila ang objective taking. Remember, you have a late game lineup on the side of NXP. So Omega Esports, they control or they rule the early game. If the team fight leads to both jungle kills, it does favor Omega because they still have a 1-1 on the side lane.
Sobrang tama ka, no, Midnight? Kasi I think pressure ng OMG dito to finish the game early. Meanwhile, depensa muna para sa NXP. And this is risky. Look at that. Exort pumasok kayo dito. Third easy with the second skill out. Tapos si Exort na maiiwan dito. Exort with the flicker. Pasok si HO dito with the blazing fluid. This time, Yawi is here. H2 nandito na din. May onting bawi. Habang si GZ ay atakin yan si Exort.
Di dapat mahal ang magmahal. Kaya huwag mahihiyang magtanong. Dahil ang right na para sa lahat.
Exort, Hajizi will just go for the flinch floors out. Meanwhile, Toshi naman ang magpa-farm dito sa gitna as James is also farming the bottom side. It's all about the aggressive movements ngayon ng OMG. Depensang Marino sa NXP. Sinong nananalo sa trade ngayon, Midnight?
I think for the last trade, it was NXP. Even though napatay si Rene J, they still got what they came for. And maganda actually yung response nila. You don't let Omega take anything for free. If napatay si Rene J and napunta yung kill kay 1-1, as much as possible for NXP, you need to find a trade.
Yeah.
And they got it. Nakakuha sila na isang kill. And Hajizi, he went on the backlines. I don't actually agree with the play. Instead of going for H2, he went for Exort, which was not the best trades. So kaya ako nasabi na NXP yung panalo doon kasi nakakuha ng kill si H2O and Omega Esports, they didn't take any objectives out of that skirmish.
Yeah, but I think ang pinaka pwedeng objective lang na nakuha dito ng mga Omega ay mid lane.
Yes.
Pero nabawi rin kasi ng NXP sa bottom lane.
Yep.
So,
may trade.
may part na nag-50, 60-40, and yes, H2O, nakita natin ngayon yung damage na ginawa dito ng kanyang blazing duet na actually pare di mo na-destroyed na siya.
Yes.
And we know na talagang delikado yon kapag ikaw ang isang Claude. And this time, they're going for the turtle. Makuha dito ni H2O as OMG will just back off.
Yes, and this is where you start seeing the shift on the momentum here. NXP now has the items and the levels that they need. Remember, sinabi natin kanina, they are the superior team fighters. This is because of the presence of the Angela and the Alice. Omega Esports are now playing the split push game. You have a Link, you have an Alice, you have an Esmeralda, and you have a 1-1. Yeah. Sila naman yung nagre-resource control ngayon, and NXP are the ones dictating the objectives. This is where you start shifting the power spikes. Si Claude, may team fight yan. Si Alice, may team fight yan. Benedetta, may team fight yan. As much as possible, don't let Omega Esports split push and take the fight into Omega.
So, ibig sabihin dito, Midnight, ang pressure ngayon sa NXP is that wag nilang hayaan na Omega ang magdidikta. Wag nilang hayaan na Omega magsiset ng tempo. Dapat sila na.
Sila na ngayon.
May damage na sila eh.
Yes.
Umabot na sila sa power spike na may damage siya yung blazing duet.
Yep.
Halos lahat. Pero ngayon, Midnight, alam na ata ng Omega, gagawa sila ng play dito sa baba. There you go. Haze, napakatagal para mapatumpa dito si James.
Haji?
James surviving.
Oh, wow.
Wow, instant ultimate lang. Kamuntikan pa. Field attempt for OMG. Pero kaya nilang patumbahin tong bottom lane.
Top lane though, top lane. Manjin, ito yung sinasabi natin. There's always a trade now. The Basha is stealing the orange buff of Omega Esports. Medyo actually questionable yung nangyari sa baba, no? Hajizi could have taken out James, but he opted to go for the safer route and went for the tower objectives, which was fine. But then again, NXP, sila naman yung nagdidictate ng pressure ngayon. So Omega didn't really go for the punish on the bottom lane.
Ang hirap din kasi Midnight, I think mayroon din kasing specific na buff pa rin yung Tore. Kasi nakita natin na nag-back kagad si Ace. Doon mo makikita dito yung yung mastery ng jungling dito ng OMG. Kung yun yung dating Tore, kung yun yung dating turret,
Dinive na nila dapat
na nila ng todo yon. Pero kasi still, mamamatay na si Ace doon eh. Isang hit na lang siya eh. So yeah, sobrang fortunate noon para kay James dahil nga meron din siyang ultimate. Dahil doon, nagkaroon ng space ang NXP. Midnight, pero with a snap, may bawi kagad ng Omega. Tignan mo, dikta kagad sila. Binawi kagad nila yung nawalang top lane nila.
Yes. Methodical approach still for Omega Esports. Every single objective na nakikita nila, basta libre, they will go for it. Curtizi with the Wind of Nature negating the damage output of the Blazing Duet ni H2O. Medyo ginalawan siya doon. Pogi,
Yeah.
sikreto ng Pogi.
May onting master movements
Oo.
dito ang si Curtizi, pero mukhang delikado yon. Midnight dahil alam na ni H2 na cooldown na dito yung Wind of Nature.
Yes.
So ngayon NXP, they can probably take
Lord.
this, but look at this. Curtizi with the place. Oh no, kailangan mo na ata tumakbo dahil pumasok si Yawi dito. But
Oh.
Kurt, kumikripok, left, right.
Oh, that's
Here we go. Left, right. Nako si Yawi nila mag-isa at ayun na yung
Oh my
Harlem
God.
movements. Kurt, Dizzy, kakabagkin ko lang Midnight.
Oh, H2!
H2 pumasok ngayon, mag-isa si GZ, sabi niya, binate lang kita. Meanwhile, GZ, H2, Blazing Duet. GZ, Flinch Boys.
Oh.
GZ will survive. Habang si Curtizi, yung main problem ay nandito na ngayon, attacking the orange buff right now. Nalito ngayon yung Omega. Good movements for Curtizi, pero wala silang mapupush this time as Renny J will try to go for the split push. Men, gaano ka-importante yung pitas na yon?
Grabe, ito masasabi ko, labanan ng H-God. Could have definitely taken out the Claude on that tower, pero sabi mo nga kanina Manjit, medyo nakakatakot kasi yung mga turrets ngayon. So sabi ni Haji, okay, play safe na lang ako and I will not go for the Claude kill. H2 tried to go for the punish but he didn't have the stack with the movement speed from the Art of Thievery. So hindi niya nahabol si Ling and hindi rin siya naabot ni James. Now, Omega Esports has reset the game. They now have full control of the turtle, but remember, they can still take it on the side of NXP. They have a Baksha that destroys the bush control of Omega Esports, gives vision to them, and remember, team fight superior ang NXP.
Team fight talaga at midnight, umaabot na tayo sa ultra late game. We're now at 11 minutes of this game. This is the same story nung kalaban nila ang Red Esports.
Yes.
Ganito tumatagal ang NXP. Yes, lumalamang ang kalaban nila early game, pero nakakasabay kasi sila late game. So to the point na napi-50-50 nila, one wrong movement from Omega, NXP can definitely punish them.
Oo, ito ang story ng itong team fight ito. Who gets the control on the 1-1? Omega Esports, they still have this pressure na pag nag-proc yung ultimate ni 1-1 dito, yung crossbow of thanks, heroes will melt on the side of NXP. So
Yeah.
they need to keep in mind of the positioning of the 1-1. But it's really hard to do that against the Kagura and the Pakito na lagi nagbibigay ng vision against NXP.
Ang ganda kasi ng zone no? So pressured ngayon ng NXP, hanapin dito si Kurt Dizzy. They need to be mindful of the wind chant.
Yes.
They need to be mindful of the Kagura's ultimate. Kasi Hayes is also doing a great job with the box out na ginagawa nila. Tama ka, Midnight. Late game capability, yes, nandito yung part ng NXP. Pero dito na ba papasok yung veteran movements? Dito na ba papasok yung macro control? Kasi I think ang tinitignan natin ngayon, since 50-50 na yung mga items, kung sino na ang makakapag-freeze lane, sino na mauna sa mga bush, pagdating dito sa Lord Take na to.
Alam mo, sobrang bilis mag-farm ni Hajizi. Kanina lang pantay sila ng gold ni Claude. Ngayon, there's 1,000 gold lead on this Ling. Di ko alam kung saan niya nakuha yan. Actually, wala naman siya nakuha kills for the past few minutes.
Totoo.
But I think it's because of him being able to stop Renergy from split pushing and the map control of Omega Esports na hindi nila hinahayaang makapag-lane si H2O. For the past 2 minutes, si H2O, nagpapakita sa isang lane, biniblazing duet niya, but majority of his time is spent on the jungle.
Jungle talaga, no? Dito papasok yung capability ng Link to roam around Nagiging ano siya nagiging, para siyang nagiging part na hero na split pusher na lang siya Ngayon, ang dilema ngayon dito ng NXP.
Oh, this is a kill.
Pwede na i-bait to, Let's see, blow by blow.
Ayaw.
Renny J playing mind games with the GZ. Alam ngayon ng dalawang kupunan na 4 lang sila sa my Lord Take. Sino ang mauuna dito? NXP ang may retribution. Kurt Dizzy, kumikripok palapit. Let's see, pero sabi
Haji?
guys, teka lang. Alam nilang 4 yung nasa side ng
Ganda
NXP.
ng bait.
Both of the teams playing mind games with
Oo,
each other
sobra.
midnight. Tignan natin. James, pasok ngayon. Hayes, nako, tricky situation. Pasok dito si Renny J. Renny J, the bomb.
The punish.
Execute. Oh no, nawala dito si Hayes. Pero mukhang si Yawi ata mawawala dito. Nako, nabitin. Damage. Napagamit dito ng
Oh,
wind
the
shot
wind
si Easy. Pero the wind shot is real. Mr. Edgelord. Kurt Dizzy. Grabe, malasaske, pare.
Grabe.
Kamuntikan mawala pero isang pindot lang ng wind shot. Pero sabi ni Renny J, ako ang the bomb, hahabulin kita. Pero may onting grip walk.
Oh my
Habang
God.
FGC nandito na din. KDA machine. There you go. May tusok din ako. 4 na
Grabe.
heroes ang nawala sa NXP. And look at that replay. Anong nangyari doon, Midnight?
Eto, masasabi ko lang, technical plays by Omega Esports. It started with the bait on the bottom lane. They went for the Renegade after the Lord reset. And after that, alam na nila, okay guys, lahat ng tao ng NXP pupunta sa Lord. Maniwala kayo sa akin. And that is what happened. H2O thought that it was a free team fight, went for the Blazing Duet, pero hindi nila na-ready yung cooldown ng Winchan.
Wow, that instant replay is brought to you by Oppo A94. Experience gaming at full speed with Oppo A94. Get yours now for only $39.99. Instant win shot lang. That was patience.
Yes.
Mula dito kay Curtizy, akala natin yun yung perfect blazing duet kay H2O. And mind you, H2O is one great Claude player. Alam niya kung kailan ang shoot ng blazing duet.
Oo.
Akala natin yun na. Hindi pa pala.
Yep, and Omega Esports, this is where you start seeing the technicalities and the mechanics of these players. Again, Curtizy with that Winchan play on the 1-1 and Hajizi being present on the entire map. Parang yung pakiramdam ng NXP, hindi nila alam kung saan sila pupunta.
Yeah.
Kasi every single time na kalahati buhay nila, biglang may bumababa sa kanila, binabagsakan sila ng isang link.
Ang nangyayari dito, Midnight NXP ang lagi nagre-react.
Oo.
At umaasa sila na maka-outplay sila. Let's see, dahil mukhang may laban ata nagaganap dito. Onting poke, the Lord is now down. Buhay pa rin dito yung tower. NXP, nadepensahan pa nila. Nice patience para dito sa side ng NXP. Habang yung OMG kukuha na lang ng iba pang objectives. Ang camera ngayon ay tumitingin kay Kurt.
Yep.
Mr. Edgelord. Tignan natin ngayon.
Oh, James!
Oy, pasok si
James!
James dito. Si Kurt ang main target. Let's see. Wala pa rin pasok si Ace, pero pasok na naman si James. The fake is real.
Oh!
But Kurt, mabubuhay pa siya. Buhay! Si Kurt Easy dito. Ready J magkabol. Kurt Easy. Pero may execute dito si Ready J. Wala na si Kurt this time. 4-on-4 mangyaring laban. Ready J nandito
Oh,
si Exort.
na-touch?
Nakaloob sa kanya. Exort, tatakbo. Nag-zoom out yung camera natin. Ready J now, tatakbo na din. Meanwhile, si Nate nandito. Wala damage output ng OMG. Pasok si Ace dito with the yin yang overturn. H2, mapapag-BMI out. Ready J,
Bottom
baiting
lane.
someone. Look at Hajizi this time. Hajizi, lilipat pa sa bottom lane dito. Nag-aabang ng hero. Hajizi,
Inaabangan yung top lane.
men, ang intense
Oh!
na nangyari, pero sabi ni Hajizi, okay, lipat ang camera, isang sundot, kuha ang tore.
Basic lang, objectives lang, sabi ng Omega Esports. Di namin kayo hahabulin para sa kill. Kasi again, the story of the game is that we are playing objectives. If we can avoid fights on the side of NXP, we still win the map control.
Yeah, this is again because of the flinch boys. The mechanics na meron, ang isang lane na kayang mang-split, kayang gawin yung mga ganong klaseng movements. How crucial was that team fight para sa dalawang teams, Midnight? James and Renny J, nakita natin yung persistence nila on
Yes.
getting Curtizy.
Actually, it could have been better, pero ang ganda rin kasi nung sagot ni Heat. Nung ginamit na ni James yung flicker niya, ang ganda nung gamit ng stacks on the Pakito. Multiple ultimates was targeted onto the Alice, kaya hindi napatay si Curtizy. Now, there's gonna be a steal on the purple buff. I don't think NXP could fight this one. Actually, nakuha ata ni H, and then, hindi nakuha ni H2.
Nakuha ni Hajizi. And eto, dito mo makukomment yung dito mo makukomment ang NXP eh. They really know kung kailan sila magre-rest. They really know kung kailan yung sugal.
Yes.
At sinugal nila yung last team fight na yun eh. Crucial yun kasi again, kamuntikan pa mabuhay si Kurt. Kung nabuhay si Kurt, kung nakapag-ultimate siya, pwedeng naubos pa sila.
Oo.
Pero Renny J, nireserve niya talaga yung execute. Tatlong ultimates yung nawala doon. The Electro-Final Blow, yung ultimate ni Alice,
Yep.
pati yung ultimate ni Angela.
Tumalon din eh, di ba?
Tumalon din para lang mapatay si Curtizy.
Yung problem, asa nyo ni Hayes tsaka ni Heat. At the same time.
At the same
Nasa
time,
tall order.
at the same time talaga, no? Ngayon yung OMG, okay lang sa kanila kahit walang isa.
Oo.
Basta wag sabay,
Yes.
at kaya nila mag-split.
Yep, ito yung dangers na sinasabi natin kanina sa draft. Even though NXP went for the right mindset again, you have the superior team fighter with the Alice and the Angela last pick, but you are still facing the link problem. Again, hindi nila masasagot tong link na to because of the nature of their draft.
Yeah.
If they try to split push with Benedetta, suddenly the 4 heroes that are left
Lugi.
will just lose to the Esmeralda.
Oo, lugi talaga. And again, nabanggit natin dito, they don't have any catch para dito kay Hajizi
Yep.
unless ibuhos ni James yung second skill niya doon.
Oo, unless magkamali si Haji.
Oo, at pwede rin or maduwo kasi I think enough ng time yung stun ni Yawi ng Baksha at yung stun ng Alice. I think
Yes.
enough ng time
Enough
na
naman.
yun eh. Enough
Problem
na yun
is, kailangan mahuli mo si Ling nang wala siyang ultimate.
Oo, at
Kasi may
ma-burst
free,
nyo.
kasi may free pass si Ling eh. That's the very nature of Ling.
Oo.
It's really hard to take him down kapag walang ultimate. So very conditional pag mapapatay mo siya. Actually, bottom lane, may nag-1v1 na doon. That's the Ling and the Benedetta. This will always happen. The split push of the Benedetta and Hajizi split pushing for Omega Esports. And paulit-ulit yung mangyayari to, the Lord reset will always happen because Omega Esports, they're looking to split the map.
Magkakasaikuhan na ngayon, Midnight. At dito na papapasok yung draft na sinasabi natin. Yes, may damage output dito ang NXP. But Omega outplaying them in every way possible. Besides the fact na may escape yung Ling, may second skill din si 1-1 dito.
Oo.
Kaya hindi mo rin basta-basta mahuhuli.
Yep.
And the fact na maganda yung zone dito ni Hayes, ni Heat, and
Grabe.
Denoshi, hirap na hirap ang NXP.
Triangle offense man,
Wow.
Triangle offense, hindi makapasok kaya pumasok si Yawi. This is a Basha that can do this, but the problem is the overwhelming damage of the Kagura and the Pakito. Mind you, it's just a Pakito tank. Ayan, nire-reset na naman nila. Always look for a potential outplay.
Mababurn siya dito. Pasok si Angeli dito, but James is down.
Very methodical.
Wow! OMG! Targeting the right person at the right place at the right time. And ito yung hindi mo pwedeng underestimate sa team na to. Alam nila pag sinabing focus fire sa isang tao, dun talaga sila.
Oo, Manji, nakita mo 'di ba yung bilis, yung urgency ng decision making ng OMG. Nung nakita nila na wala nang buhay si Yawi, immediately reset the Lord. Nung hindi na nila abot si Yawi, okay, ito na lang si James. Focus, 4 heroes were focusing down on the Alice. Now, Rene J is being chased by 4 heroes while Hajizi is getting his farm. Probably split push the bottom lane and mid lane, but OMG still have the control. Now they have taken the Lord, and this will make life harder for NXP because hindi lang si Ling yung problema mo, dadagdag pa si Lord.
Dadagdag si Lord. Lord is at level 2. Pupunta dito sa top lane. This is a 20-minute game right now, Midnight. We're looking at late game items right now. Kapansin-pansin na meron ding plate armor dito, si Heat.
Oo.
Just to negate this Claude.
Yep, sasalin lang talaga nila.
Oo. And ito yung dilemma, Midnight eh. Laging mauuna ang Ling kaysa sa Benedetta pagdating sa split. Tama ba?
Kasi mas mobile si
Oo.
Ling compared to the Benedetta. Even though mas invasive mas evasive pala si Benedetta, Ling is just a global map presence.
At speaking of map presence, eto na, sabi ng OMG, gera na natin. James now falling low. Mabuhay kaya si James this time.
No.
Mukhang kaya niya mabuhay with the flowing blood pero nawala na rin si Hayes doon sa bandang gilid. Napakagandang sagot mula dito sa NXP. Eto na yung sinasabi natin AOE-centric damage output as Hayes is down for a minute. Meanwhile, pasok si Kurt dito. Kaya na kayo mapatumba. Na-reset dito si X-Sword. Kurt, siya nalang mag-isa dito pero ako, makakawala pa siya. Nako, H-O nandito na din. Toshi, buhay pa rin. Ang daming buhay pa rin sa side ng OMG. Wala na rin si Renny J. And I think this is it. OMG. Omega is back. At makakuha sila ng pinaka